Hey, welcome. Welcome. Man, I'm proud of this right here. Welcome to the very first episode of Fearless Ambition Podcast. I'm your host, Kadon Sterling. All right. Hey, I have something being built, just so y'all know there's going to be a whole set built for the podcast, but I wanted to start it right now from my car. A lot of people know me from Cars, Golf, and Cigars. A lot of people know me from Mogul Talk One-on-One here on YouTube. The Fearless Ambition Podcast will also be on YouTube and also on iHeartRadio and all the platforms that you actually listen to podcasts. So I appreciate it that y'all stay with me, listen to what I got to say, hear what I got to say. Definitely communicate back with me. Let me know what you're thinking about. But I had to start the first one off in the car because I was blowing a cigar and I said, this is business and this is a podcast kind of conversation. Now, Fearless Ambition Podcast is going to be basically representing many topics between sports, between politics, between cars, business, music. We're going to be talking about everything that drives the culture, right? And that's what my goal is, to help drive the culture and help move that ceiling just a little bit more so other people can say, okay, I get it. I know what direction I need to go to. And if I didn't know, I know now. All right. So this first one I wanted to talk to y'all about was something that's going on in the car industry because it just happened. And I actually put it on Cars, Golf, and Cigars on YouTube. So please hit that subscribe button and follow my channel over there as well. Vroom. Vroom is done. Vroom is over. If you don't know what Vroom is the competitor to Carvana in the online purchasing lane for vehicles, which they had created a couple of years ago simply because COVID. It was the most brilliant thing in the world, right? Create things that people can buy online so they don't have to leave their house. The main people that made the most money, and I don't want to say people, I'm going to say entities, were Wi-Fi companies, cable TV companies, Amazon, and people that wanted to buy cars. Anything that you could do online, and also all of the industry that has to do with basically DoorDash, Uber, Shipt, you know what I'm saying, Uber Eats, anything that had to do with that. Those companies made a lot of money because the whole country was locked down. Now, Vroom is over, shut 90% of the business down as of yesterday. And why? Because they ran out of money. It's just that simple. It's simple economics. If you have overhead and you can't keep paying for the overhead, you have to shut down. But before you do that, you make sure that you put out there that you're looking for revenue. You're looking for investors. You're looking for people to come in and save your behind, right? That's what you're looking for. So that's not what they got. And I'm sure the reason why they didn't get it is because their numbers were bad. Because plenty of billionaires would have came in and said, oh, well, we'll take them. Why didn't Warren Buffett come in and save their ass? Why? There's plenty of billionaires that could have jumped in there and said, we're not going to let you go under. So this is what we'll do. We're going to give you $300 million and we're going to take over 60% of the company's revenue. 60-40. 40 is y'all, 60 is us. However you deal with your 40% and pay these employees is your business. But this $300 million is going to keep you afloat for the next 2 years. Maybe you don't want to gut them like that. You take 53% of the company. So you have final say. I don't even want 51. Give me 53. But nobody jumped in to help them. Carvana was going down. Okay, let's keep it very, 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 very real. Carvana was over. Some entity jumped in and helped them. See, now let's talk about why. The reason why is because of the mass inventory of vehicles that stopped selling the same way they were selling online. People was not buying cars online anymore the way they was buying them 2-3 years ago. And if you look at the online situation, online buying cars, they're so much more expensive. You think you're getting a great deal because the car gets delivered to your house and they drop it off and this, that, and the third, but they're at least 2,000-3,000, some of them 4,000-5,000 over retail. Easily. Okay? I mean easily over sticker. I'm looking at Carvana and I'm looking at cars like, wait a minute, why? Why is this car $29,000? When I'm not going to mention manufacturers and names, but I know for a fact this car is that's a 1990. That's a $20,000 car, not a $29,000 car, or at least a 22. It should not be 30,000 that I have to pay back this company for the next 6 years and pay them 55,000 after interest rates and everything like that. So you add in the supply and demand, which is not there at the same level it was there 3 years ago. And then you realize that last year, even though Vroom has never really competed with Carvana numbers-wise, they both do, good numbers. But what is really good numbers? Good numbers is basically where you don't have no debt. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing profitable numbers. Point in case, they made over $230 million, $240 million they brought in. But even though they brought that in, they were still $35 million in the red. The math ain't mathing. So it don't make a difference what you brought in if you still owe $35 million. You really didn't bring in that kind of money. You owe $35 million at the end of the day. Now, their relationship with auction houses like Manheim, which houses most of their vehicles all over the country, all over these 50 states. They probably got about 1,000 cars over here, 1,000 cars over there. Who knows? But Manheim, you owe them. They're housing that for you, which is great for you because you don't have to house these cars at actual dealerships. The difference is with Carvana, they set up the little tube thing and the cars is in the tube and they come down up the tube. They give you a token and then you get your car. That stuff costs money too. You have to build those lots. Okay? Vroom don't have anything like that. They just strictly go, you buy the car off their site. They know exactly where the car is located according to what your address is, city, state, stuff like that. They know that car is located at one of those Manheim auction houses. They go pick up the car. Boom. But let's talk about another side of it. There's a legal side to it. The legal side to it is Vroom 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, they was getting sued by so many people because they was selling cars that did not have clear titles. Not that you can't sell a salvage title car. I'm not saying they all were salvage. I'm just saying they wasn't all cleared. So if they wasn't cleared by the time you got your paperwork, you still didn't have a chance to go get tags and plates because you don't have no title actually for the car because they don't have one. They had to reissue TEP tags to thousands of people because people couldn't get plates. Now, what Vroom failed to realize, or should I say, they didn't do their due diligence, was thinking that Manheim was going to do all of these other things for them. But they didn't, as in even inspecting all the vehicles. Some of the vehicles were not in the same condition that they probably looked at online when the customer got them. They're like, wait a minute, this check engine light is still on. I didn't buy a car to get it with a check engine light. Oh, wait a minute, this is not working. Okay? Vroom is not an auction house where you just buy as is. Carvana is not an auction house as you buy as is, and Carvana actually does offer certain warranties. I don't know if Vroom did or not, but at the same time, those things they didn't take into, they didn't really do their homework. They really didn't. And by doing all that, they got themselves in one hell of a bind. One hell of a bind that is hard to get out of. Super hard to get out of. But what it does do, it frees up inventory for the whole country when it comes to auction houses, dealers, and auto brokers like myself. For those who don't know and you're watching this for the first time, thank y'all so much for being here at the Fearless Ambition podcast, I also own and operate FA Auto Brokerage Firm. You can put it all together.com. FA Auto Brokerage Firm. I am an auto broker as well. I find classic cars, cool cars, luxury cars for my clients, for people that are car enthusiasts and car lovers and car collectors. That's what I do. So therefore, it opens up the inventory for all of us who have our licenses to do these things, to have more cars at our disposal, because all the cars that Vroom had has to go back to Manheim, and they're going to flood their websites for the dealer websites with all kind of new cars in the next week. Oh, it's coming. Oh, when I look online, it's going to be a bunch of cars that wasn't there last week, because they got to get their money back for those cars. Those cars got to get paid for. You understand? But I just wanted to open up this podcast with this to let y'all know. My name is Kadon A. Sterling. Please look forward and be excited to more episodes, because they're coming. And they're coming from my point of view. And we have a lot of guests on this too, because I know you want to have other people's opinions of what we're talking about. Okay? You can go to the Etsy store, Etsy.com. You put in Mogul Mindset, shameless plug, Mogul Mindset, one word, in the Etsy store, and you can get all the apparel that you see me wear, because I make apparel for entrepreneurs, because I truly believe you're seen before you are heard. Okay? Even like this I Hustle hoodie. I even have I Hustle mugs and cups, because it's a real simple way to let people know this is what I do. I hustle. Fearless Ambition is the company. This is the Fearless Ambition podcast. FA Auto Brokerage Firm is my auto brokerage firm to help you find the car that you want. Follow me on my other platforms, Cars, Golf, and Cigars, here on YouTube. Mogul Talk One-on-One here on YouTube. And also you can follow me on Instagram, Fearless Ambition Inc. on Instagram, as well as FA Auto Brokerage Firm on Instagram, and Cars, Golf, and Cigars on Instagram. I thank y'all so much for being with me. I'm excited, man. It's going to be a great 2024, because we're going to talk. We're going to talk. And hopefully everybody like what we got to say. All right? I'll see you on the next one.